I was here, I was there, I was all over the map. Run it back, it's a rap. They ain't catch me in the trap. Why you thinking you hard, boy? I'm ripping these bars up. Spit like a sawed off. I'm sicker than nausea. Run a rap like I'm Rajon. You need to take caution. Taking my portion. Rapping divine one. Shine brighter than 12 suns. You hoping that hell come. Keep thinking how you thinking. I'm cooking them well done. You could claim that your people's watch me go tell something. Everybody swear they real, but everybody be fronting. I'm cool, I'm laid back, I'm rolling the blunt. I don't care what they say, I just do what I want. I ain't talking to you, so just mind your business. Knowledge is born, and I birthed the wisdom supreme. Make sure you get your package deal today. Contact me ASAP. Prices on the screen. You want that graphic design, you want that advertisement, you want to go viral, hit me up. You don't understand the depths of it. I promote pages, I promote music, I promote products, I promote whatever you want. Just get at me and I'll make sure the rest happens for you. So test out the little guy and see what happens. I got you. Naga.
Hey, with the affirmations to enjoy your day with. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The netters are my battery. I got my discipline. My source comes from within. Root chakra grounded in the cosmos so infinite. Nagas through my veins. Currencies flow through ligaments. Another netta instrument. Manifest me dividends. I'm on my mastery. Self-doubt is blasphemy. I'm the God I ask for me. Connected to my astral being. I summon other beings. All facets of me. Magician carve my meaning. My purpose is the alchemy. I am numero uno, Raishi on my mind, lion's mane, big on sumo, Babalao aligned with Pluto. We kick back like we judo, karma licks back with Pluto. Heart on a feather, that represents my new growth. Trusting me is crucial, the God in me a do show. I'm bigger than your economics, politics, and Google. My omnipresence is the true show, all the world is stage. Allow my authentic self to be the sage. Fumigating parasites all up in my space. Cause I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than indoctrinations. Naga's rising cavalry. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than the situation. Nettas are my battery. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The nettas are my battery.
Supreme rising, everybody. You already know the vibes. I am Naga. This is Naga's Thoughts. Incremental Science 30 and 31. Let's get into it. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just trying to show you something. So we're gonna get right to it. Share my screen real quick. I think when I did this one, it was more of a dream. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to see because it's been a minute. We're gonna have to see. Anyway, let's get into it. 30. The all. Incremental Science 30. The all. And this is not going to really be like a class. I'm going to tell y'all a story and the reason why I got this concept and what it taught me. One night, after going through some things or whatever, and ended out on the property or whatever, I was doing some heavy meditation. It was like one of these full moons. I think it was the Scorpio moon or something like that. Probably like a year, maybe about a year ago, something like that. So I meditated under this moon, and I went to sleep. After I went to sleep, I had this. It wasn't like I went to sleep. It was like I laid down and I was expecting to see something. I don't know why I felt it. Like I was expecting something to download. I just felt it, and I was like ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I just laid down. I was like, come on, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like so, this image speaks to a value of what I saw and what was explained to me and feeling. And it took a long time for me to interpret it. It took me like about 11 months for me to interpret what I saw then. Um, but the face was many faces. It was so many different faces, and they didn't have no pigment. It was just so many faces, and they wasn't like just there. They were like folded in, kind of like a black hole, right? It was like folding in and coming back around, folding in, and it was like each wave that would ripple would be a face. And this is where I came up with the idea of the different faces in between light pulses, and they would just keep showing, but they were folding, they were growing inward, they were going in like rippling inward, and they would fold into the middle and come to a face and then come back around to the backside. And it was a circle. It just constantly kept doing that and kept doing that and kept doing that. So it was like I would see some smiling faces, I would see some sad faces, some melancholy faces. It would just be a bunch of different faces and never no voices, right? And it had like a little weird hairdo or whatever, like whatever it was trying to, you know what I'm saying? And it was weird. So, and then the body was like a suit. The body was a suit, like it was trying to be presentable, you know what I'm saying? But it couldn't because everything kept folding in on itself. It just kept folding in on itself. Like, but it was stabilized as two arms, two legs, and a head. So all the energy was just folding in on itself. So as the energy tried to make itself something I can see, it just kept folding in on itself. It couldn't stay stable. And for a long time I couldn't comprehend this. I couldn't comprehend why I was seeing it this way. And it was weird because it was dancing. It was like yeah. It was just dancing. I was like, yo, and I was cool with it. I was like, yo, why you dancing? You know what I'm saying? It was it was getting down. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, what are you doing? And it was just and it wouldn't talk. I'm like, yo, say something to me. I'm like in his face. I'm like, yo, talk to me. He's like, and just kept doing that. So I'm like, it was crazy, but I was getting these vibes from it. I was getting these vibes from it, and then it stopped. And then when it stopped, it like the whole motion of it stopping moving changed the whole reality. So like when it stopped, it went in and disappeared, and then the whole reality changed. And I was looking at like a scene being put together, and it was showing me how each characteristic broke off from another characteristic. So it was like love and its counterpart, and then the counterpart of that, and then the counterpart of that, and it just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going into like a whole bunch of rooted systems. Like it was just crazy, almost like just folding out on itself, just like throwing up. So if you think about love and then hate, right, and then hate, and then hate, and then what's the opposite of hate? You know what I'm saying? Uh, whatever that could be, and then the opposite of that, and then just keep going back and forth because you don't want to say love, hate, love, hate, love, hate. You know what I'm saying? It's like increments of differences in between. You know what I'm saying? So it's like love, hate, gratitude, selfishness, um, thankfulness. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kept going, and just breaking off to like so many different counterparts of itself into it. It just had a whole collective amount of situations just laying all around. And these characters would spawn an individual. And that's what people would start from. So you would start from that characteristic, whatever you came in the world as, you would start from that one. And that was your main characteristic. So the job, the task was that characteristic going against you. You know what I'm saying? If you was lost, if you was lost in the world, like if you got thrown down, you know what I'm saying? If you were there because of something you did or something, some other reason, like something wrong with you, how you satisfied yourself and your spirit, if you were there because of that reason, that was important. It was like to know that it was important. You know what I'm saying? To know that, you know what I'm saying? So it got real weird. So it's like you got to let them know that they started with this, but this is what the change was for. You wasn't supposed to get worse with that. You might have had these certain ways, you know what I'm saying? But you wasn't supposed to get worse with that. You know, you were supposed to keep going and keep going and keep going. So ultimately, it's always a new day because the sun sets, and you know what I'm saying, you get that yin yang cycle. So you can, oh, you always got an opportunity to have a light bulb moment and make your life what you want it to be, or what it will be in alignment with divine energy. So ultimately, back to
Before I keep going on to that, I do remember this dream, and my explanation skills or me explaining stuff back then was terrible. As I'm listening to it, I'm like, yo, you didn't do a good job explaining what you was trying to get to or whatever. All right, so basically what I was trying to explain was all characteristics was the essence of the life of those particular existences at the time. So it was, it was from unconditional love to conditions. It was conditions, and then that would break off into incremental values of that emotional concept, like hate, like envy, like jealousy, like like gratitude, like selflessness, like all the different characteristics would start manifesting in existences by themselves, and they would be the headway of the innocence, right? So for the most part, the babies have to have an innocent characteristic that stands out, right? So if you notice your child when it comes into the world has a particular innocence about its particular characteristic, what its characteristic is fixed, what they are, how they are, their little way is their particular, until it changes into the conditions, and then the conditions start going into, the different branches that speak to these different particular values. Or, it's how, like a rooting system, your tree system is going to root, and it's going to grow, and it's going to pump nutrients into the base, which is going to feed the tree to produce whatever fruit, right? Same thing with a person. That particular characteristic is going to split into different aspects, which are these going to be the ilmatic problems that you have through your life, whether it's good or bad, through characteristic traits.
to, my man right here, you know what I'm saying? Like what was going on and what was explained to me was, see, I had to get off of that because I want to leave that right there at the 7 minute mark so y'all can just revel in that energy. You can go back, rewind it, whatever. But my man right here, divine energy, it was showing me like, how do you expect divine to come to you? Like this is like layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of eons of time that you couldn't even fathom the time of how far the stretch is. You know what I'm saying? And plus, your value of size is incrementally to the smallest size. You know what I'm saying? Like even things that are small. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as we are to the divine, like we are tiny. So if you was ever to even be graced by that energy, you couldn't see it. It'll be too gigantic. It'll be too like just you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Who's that? You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody out there, I am the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you still wouldn't hear it because it'd be too big, right? So if you would have to fold it in, you have to take all that power and fold it in and keep folding it and folding it and folding it and folding it until you can make it to something that you can. And then at that point, it's unstable. That's like you having that power. Like, what would it look like if you had like that unstable? So just to have a piece of it, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't have all that. That probably wasn't even all of it, just enough to get me to. Basically, I'm so simple at this time. Like I was trying so hard. Bless your heart, Naga. Bless your little stupid heart. I'm not stupid. I was going through the vibrations of downloading this energy, and I was trying to explain it as soon as it came to me, and it was very hard. As you can see, me trying to explain this, it was very, very hard. But what I was saying was that is the equivalency of the divine being able to show me what itself was. And because the size of divine energy is so large. Large is not even a word. It's like ginormous. It's just it's so it has a great magnitude that in order to come to where you are, just so you can meet it, like if it deemed itself if it deemed itself if it deemed itself the if it deemed you valuable enough for that entity to meet you, it would have to condense on itself. This is the force of these energies. I told y'all when I meditate, I see a whole galaxy spinning in my head. Literally, like the whole galaxy just spinning in my head. So even when I close my eyes now, like I still see pulses around me without going into meditation. Like the pulses are always around me. So if it's deemingly set for you to experience this energy, you will meet the condenser. This is what I've started calling him, the condenser, because he condenses everything from his space and time into one entity. And this is what happens. It was a person that was folding in on itself. Like it was so much energy, it just constantly folded in on itself. And the entity couldn't stop moving, because if it stopped moving, things would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it had to keep moving with a flow. So it was like smiling and dancing and all this shit. It was crazy, man. I remember that dream clear as day. And it had a pretty fresh suit on, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was, I don't know, it was like I was in a room, you know what I'm saying? And let me just finish telling this story. To see. And then it was even deep, because the knowledge I got off that was to see if divine energy was working in that motion. If when he created the black womb, I could see why she looked like, you know what I'm saying? I can see why she looked like the extent, because it's like all this energy coming off of him. It's crazy. It's powerful. It's like so much. So it has to be stretched out to the value so it can be stable. This is the reason why sons are created. So if he created something, and the genetics of the divine works in this crazy, just take the whole universe and crack. You know what I'm saying? Spin the whole universe. Pow! You know what I'm saying? It would look like that's my daughter. The black hole spinning, taking everything like it's nothing, just bending it. I mean, that's a great concept to think about. But like I said, I was in my mind about whatever was taking place. Like I said, it was fresh for me. And I was just like, yeah, I was real excited, as you can see, because I've never had dreams like this before. You know what I mean? And nobody was there to point out things that was going on me. I never had like a master teacher. I tried to gravitate to people, you know what I'm saying? But what I learned was, for the most part, people was just angry. People wanted to believe they was conscious, because they would say certain things through their experiences to people, but they wasn't conscious. These people was afraid. They was afraid to meet somebody who was really conscious, and that's what I started learning. So anyway, yeah, I was at this point I was extra over with it, because it was like I would get these downloads, and then nobody can really explain to me what's going on. Like nobody can tell me what I was seeing. Like they would give me hints of a value that wasn't accurate, and I didn't like that. I need accuracy. You know what I'm saying? So um this was me trying to explain it the best way possible. And automatically I said that um she looks like him. Well, not in that reference. What I meant by the black holes as a she, or the negative frequency having the image or features of the divine. Well, the divine force created pulse created waves, and the waves broke through time and space, was created intersecting in and out waves that we call black holes. It'll be a different name for it in the future, but when they finally find out what it is, they'll change the name of it, because it's not just a black hole, you know what I'm saying, or a singularity. It's a particular force that's so strong. This is what happens at that size. So it's so strong through time and space that it punctures and pulls at the same time. So it makes what we call a suction attribute. Like, it kind of pulls you in while you're kind of trying to come out, but it doesn't want to let anything come out. That's because of the inward motion. So it's like pulling in as it's pushing out. And that's what black holes do until they're stabilized by the sun. So you can see the divine motion on a black hole in itself because it's inconsistencies to normality. You can see it doing something more over than what we would think things to be normal as. It's literally bending the power of creation. So you see it pulling, stretching, and all that. That's a counterpart of divine in itself. So its features is like the Father or the force energy.
Pulling it through and out, pulling it through and out. You know why? Because all the power, even to get close to something, he would have to implode into itself, to where inside itself there is not no space, no time, no nothing in creation. That's the only way you would be able to even. So if somebody ain't no light coming nowhere, that's divine. The power of divine, it had to be a conversation in consciousness. You couldn't even be able to see it in the physical. That was what I got off a conscious conversation. It's too much. It defolded. And then it started, I'm like, for somebody to even sit down and
Bless my heart. I'm trying so hard with my hood accident to said my hood accident. my hood explanation or dialect to explain this divine understanding. But uh it's not like light can't go there. It's just that everything that we see is a projection of light. Where do you think that's coming from? So, like, this is what I mean by light won't be able, and that's a counterpart of the black worms. You know how the black worm's supposed to absorb the particular weight of light, right? So from where the source of all energy comes from is so bright, you won't be able to see any other light circumventing this light because it's so bright. So in order to be seen and noticed, like in this artwork, the light had to condense itself down because of its greatness. It's too great for the human mechanisms to to procure a ratio value of what it sees. So it's like I wouldn't be able to understand what I'm looking at unless it can let me visualize it through the mechanisms that I was created using. So this being was condensing itself down. So this is what I mean by light doesn't even get seen by the greatest light because it's not bright enough. You would have to be brighter than the divine to be noticed as a light around divine light. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it's so bright it blots everything out.
had this conversation, right? It'd be like, dude losing his mind. He don't know what he's talking about. Nah, because you know why you would say that? Because it feels comfortable to put it in a situation to where it looks like you. It feels comfortable to put it in a situation where it's scary stuff, like you think stuff scary. It's good to put it in a situation to where you can manage it in a box. You will never box in divine. It's swift and changeable, never remainable, but always the same though.
That's a fact.
It's constant flow. Never box in the divine. Incremental science 30. Gotta understand the power that you're pulling in and understanding, overstanding what you're reaching towards, what you're understanding. You're not understanding or comprehending the divine. You're understanding the extent. And when you start seeing how the extent goes farther, your faith should grow. Why you got a mustard seed faith? Put a mountain in your pocket for faith. Walk around with a mountain because you know that is you crazy. You lost your mind. Naga.
Yeah, this dude said, "You crazy? You lost your mind." Naga, what I was saying was people tell you all you need is a mustard seed of faith and you can move mountains. Like that ratio to me is stupid. Like why say that? Why just say all I need is a mustard seed? Wouldn't you want to like all right, so if you walk up to a pile of gold, you're just gonna pick up one nugget because that's all I need to eat is one nugget. What about tomorrow? You ain't gonna eat tomorrow and the day after that. Like I'm just saying. So you might as well pick up a mountain and start knocking shit down. Like ain't no need to be playing with it. Like if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it for real. My grandfather used to be like, I don't like people who half-ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause when they half-ass shit, you know what I mean. You got to go behind them and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of energy. You know what I mean? Might as well do it right the first time. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into incremental science. 31. Incremental science 31. I think this is my mathematical equation that I came up with. So just deal with it. You can comment later or comment while this is going on. I'll respond to you. But yeah, I created a mathematical equation. This is the breakthrough in the creation of a womb. If you was watching, when I was doing a live the other day and I was showing you how the disbursement of the breakthrough of a womb creates the universe and how the residue builds all the things we see in the universe, such as, sun, moon, stars, quasars, and all that other shit. Well, this right here is the point of explosion through a universe. This is when it comes through. This is the protruding, the reason why it actually makes a womb. This is the womb it makes, and it breaks through the existence, and it starts to flow like crazy. This is so much power. This is extreme pressure and heat. So at that point, with the force that's going like this, it's just boom, that explosion that breaks through the existence and go into the next dimension. What happens is all the lighter materials on this side of the dimension that we resonate with, they burn up. Everything that doesn't have a connection to that golden aspect, it burns up because of the speed, the force, the pressure from being packed into this universe. So as it breaks through, it forces its way through. You see all these waves. That's the force that it's coming with, and it's already bending the next level of existence that may take over 1 billion years for that, 100 billion, 100 gazillion years for that process to take place before it creates another universe. But the wall is already feeling the pressure as soon as it comes through. It feels the pressure and it starts deteriorating already. This is a universal mathematical equation that I came up with, and it's E times space time divided by reality plus what was it? How did I spell it wrong? Continuance. I put it there. Continuance. So E times space time divided by reality plus continuance equals a new dimension. So that's, if you want me to say it again for you, that's E right here. E. I'll bring the phone up so you can see it. That's E times space time divided by R, which is reality, plus continuance creates this. And the reason why I can make that equation and I know that it's real because the force value, the divine force value trumps everything. So I can put that in motion and multiply that with subsequent value, and I know it's going to create something because of its domineering aspect. When you have a domineering aspect, it's almost like the Joker. You're going to automatically create the outcome of circumstances. Now, this is also a new. This is a new. So a new has to have
all its waves. These are the waves that are coming. This is going to formulate all new life. This is going to formulate a new aspect. But the knowledge that comes with that is the compressed knowledge of everything after the world or the last universe or last dimension has been compiled with the divine energy, and now it has to keep going to another dimension. And this is what's taking place. Okay, so the extreme pressure and the heat disintegrates all the negative aspects. But what they try to do while they're still existing in this time frame is what they will do is they will couple with other metals and other elemental values to try to make themselves so heavy that even when they burn down to the smallest particle, they're still there. They're not just the ash that'll float away yet. They're still there, and they can kind of float in, with the burst or with the blast of things. So this is the reason to take on so much of this negative aspect, especially the ones that want to, because they need to be heavy. They need to have more to burn off. If they have more to burn off, then they might just make it through the blast. Ultimately, this force
And you got to keep in mind, like when I'm explaining things, I'm explaining things from the point of existence of characteristics. Like I have a different understanding about characteristics, right? So I think people believe that their importance to certain existences or whatever has a relation towards moreover of their creational counterparts, the people who created them, mother, father, i.e., stuff like that. And I do, but I do believe that as well. But moreover than my belief in that, I believe that these situations started way before. They're the actions of the universe. Like anything has to condense actions and counterparts. Has ways. It's almost like saying, wow, that buffalo charged down that hill like an avalanche. Well, that buffalo is not as great as the avalanche. The avalanche can literally bury the buffalo, but the force of the buffalo seemed as if it was an avalanche coming down the hill. These characteristics are symbolic to how we harness certain things, like hot like fire and stuff like that. You know, so when you think about how the universe actually formed and the contingencies of the characteristic of the happenings, they're easily set in motion to be explaining people's characteristics. So just something to think about. So when I'm speaking to the creation of characters, I clearly see that they come from a different ratio or understanding, unbeknownst to people, knowing that this is the existence of creation. So automatically we get mixed up in values that don't particularly serve the retrospect of your proper understanding of how you move. You just kind of move through life and don't know, well, that's particular to this attribute. And if you knew that, I wonder if you would carry that characteristic, like, because some characteristics was the purpose of emotion until it simmered out. So it's like you're a certain way when you're a kid, you get older, it changes, and then you get older than that, then it's supposed to dull out. Some people don't dull out, they just kind of keep shit going because lack thereof or what they understand about anything. That selfish energy helps people keep shit going for the wrong reasons, and they don't know how to stop or put anything down. My grandfather used to say, know when to stop, know your place. And, a lot of time people don't know their place. They want their place to be everywhere. They don't want to take responsibility for their actions, and then people are charged or placed in the wrong situations because of their actions and because they didn't take the right they didn't do the right thing. And within these situations they don't want to be responsible for not being for being neglectful. They don't want to be responsible for being opposite of the person that they want to see themselves as. And that's not life. That's not how it works. You don't get to hide from what you did to cause other people pain. You have to stand on that because you were the catalyst for messing shit up. So automatically you got to understand why you messed shit up and why you was holding on to it. So therefore you can learn to let it go and become a new person. But People don't want to do that. They said some people don't change. Yeah, people don't change because they're fucking hard headed. And that's the bottom line of that. It has nothing to do with who you come from and no shit like that. Motherfuckers are selfish and they're fucking hard headed. And they don't want to face anything. And because you don't want to face the truth about your actions, things don't change. People want to fight for idiotic shit. No, you have to take responsibility for your actions as a human being. If you're causing lives to fail, if you're the reason why this happens and that happens and these things go this way and these things go that way and you're playing this little role, you're not a fucking, you're not a natural disaster. You're a natural idiot. And because you won't look at yourself and your own actions, you constantly cause more problems in other people's lives that you just want to get away with. Instead of telling people to forget shit, you should forget the way you move. Stop telling people all the time, y'all need to let that go. If you are part of it, then you need to stop being how you are. They always turn around to the good people and say, yeah, let this go right here. Just let it go. Come on, just let it go. Are you telling this motherfucker over here to get their shit together? No, you not. See, it's the whole problem, man. Everybody want to tell somebody something, and the first people they go to tell somebody something to is the people who have a better understanding of themselves, because that's the only person they feel they can control. So I can speak to you in this way, and hopefully you'll let it go, because at least you understand. So that means I can control you. I don't understand nothing you're saying. If you don't put that same energy on that motherfucker and get the hell out of my damn face, because I know how to control myself. That be the difference, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna get into that because they hate a person that don't need their direction. They hate a person who don't need to be controlled by them, lack thereof, of what they think they know about themselves. That's a fact.
First replicates the value. So this is why when you hear circumstances, people say, "Oh, why didn't everything evil from the times of biblical times die away? Why didn't God just kill everything?" It's because the process is fighting. It has a will, and if you can make it through the processes that divine is traveling through, because divine is never going to get damaged. Like you're not going to do nothing to divine. You might do things to the remnant energies of divine, but you can't do anything to the direct force of constance. You can't do anything to the direct force of continuance. Continuance is going to constantly flow. You see what I'm saying? So existence times space time divided by the reality plus continuance equals a new. This incremental science 31. And just to understand how this process continuously goes, I'm letting you know that through space and time, divine is constantly replicating itself. So keep in mind, this universe that we're in now will become a replicating station. It will fill up and it will constantly circle in divine energy at that point because it will be full. It won't, this universe will never be as this, like when it's filled up with divine energy, it will never be what we remember it to be again. It will be pure divine energy. You know what I'm saying? So the cleanup crew, the makeover, the new walls, new plaster, you know what I'm saying, the new lights, everything is gonna be made over. It will never be the same. And once we come into this, whatever makes it with us in here, times the value of what's broken that changes into remnant energy, like the residue that's being caused as it breaks through the second dimension. That residue with the force divided by the pressure and power will create the new system of things, the new beings, the new bodies, the new minerals, the new aspect of thinking, everything. This is why it's called Anu. Okay. So I ain't gonna hold y'all, but this right here is incremental science 31. You know what I'm saying? I should go a little while longer because I need to cut it because I can't give you all the juice. You know what I'm saying? But subsequently that now I've been understanding these values, divine has been letting me understand them a lot better and a little more efficient. So it's like when I'm speaking to the value, my talking points, they kind of flow. And I'm like, man, I want to talk a little longer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my point I need to get out is already out there. So with that being said, yeah, you got to check this out on my Patreon. Well, yeah, you know, because I'm at the end now. So it's going to be on Patreon. I only got to say that. So you already know the vibes, man. Not
that part. So it's just an interesting concept on divine energy and what that actually looks like. Um, yeah, all those parts right there. Um, yeah, if you're interested in what I do, reach out to me because I do graphic designs and promotions and advertising. I don't charge much. $75 a week, $250. No, I'm sorry, $75 a day, $250 a week, $850 a month. If you do it normally, it's way more to the price. Most people charge $2,500 a month in that breakdown order, but I don't. You know what I mean? So if you want, do you want to go viral? You want to promote your music? You want to promote your business? You want to promote your advertising? Whatever you want, a product, an event. Contact me ahead of time and make sure that wherever we're going to sign whatever particular contract for the time frame that you want to use, so therefore we can be efficient with the scale. And if you want graphic designs, try to reach out to me ahead of time so I can add those into the promotional time. All right, so we can make sure we get your advertisement out in good time for whatever deadline you're trying to meet. Okay. With that being said, I ain't trying to hold you. I'm just trying to show you something. You already know the vibes. Naga.
Hey. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The netters are my battery. I got my discipline. My source comes from within. Root chakra grounded in the cosmos so infinite. Nagas through my veins. Currencies flow through ligaments. Another netta instrument. Manifest me dividends. I'm on my mastery. Self-doubt is blasphemy. I'm the God I ask for me, connected to my astral dreams. I summon other beings, all facets of me. Magician carve my meaning. My purpose is the alchemy. I am numero uno, Raishi on my mind, lion's mane, big on sumo, Babalao aligned with Pluto. We kick back like judo, karma licks back from Pluto. Heart on a feather, that represents my new growth. Trusting me is crucial, the God in me a do show. I'm bigger than your economics, politics, and Google. My omnipresence is the true show, all the world's a stage. Allow my authentic self to be the stage. Fumigating parasites all up in my space. Cause I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than indoctrinations. Naga's rising cavalry. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. I'm bigger than the situation. Nettas are my battery. I am who masters me. I embody mastery. Naga's rising cavalry. The nettas are my battery.